It's common knowledge that there are numerous warning signs when dating. There are the obvious ones, like having poor hygiene and no sense of direction in life. However, there are additional indicators that a lot of people overlook until the relationship is well underway and it's too late. These subtle cues should be picked up on early on so that a man can stop things without expending too much time and effort. A red flag is a warning indicator that a relationship may face trouble in the future. A warning sign should cause a man to reconsider continuing with a lady. Despite the fact that nobody is flawless, a guy ought to be aware of the things he values in life. A man who is focused on his goals shouldn't have to deal with head games or psychological baggage in a relationship because relationships should be reciprocal. These dating red flags, if ignored, can result in far more significant problems in the future. These early warning indicators shouldn't ever be disregarded because if you do, it may be challenging to correct them afterwards. Here are the top 10 dating red signals that a high-value man should never ignore. So with that said, immature behavior is first. Most men value a woman who is independent but always in control of her emotions. Men need to realize that nobody is flawless and to not take immature behavior personally. However, no one should behave childishly in public, especially not someone who is meant to be an adult. Most high-value guys value grace and maturity. Therefore, you should do your best to avoid any woman that exhibits immature characteristics. A woman's maturity level is always apparent from the way she conducts herself in public. In such circumstances, immature women tend to overreact because they lack self-control. This immaturity manifests in various ways. While some women may whine and cry about everything wrong with their lives, others will find it amusing to make fun of other people or put him down. High-value men value emotional intelligence and prefer to be around by emotionally mature individuals who can handle challenges in their daily lives without becoming angry. Secondly, dishonesty. A man ought to be aware that everyone has multiple personalities and that no one is flawless. However, a man should be wary if a lady frequently alternates between her good and terrible sides. A guy should avoid two-faced ladies and seek out someone who remains genuine to themselves. Because of this, a lady who is dishonest will say one thing while acting quite differently when no one is looking. A man should be cautious in a relationship if a woman exhibits several personalities. The third type is the control freak. A man should be aware of his goals in life and should not tolerate attempts to influence him or his behavior. He should be aware that only he can decide what to do with his life and that only he will define its course. Contrarily, a domineering lady is the exact opposite of this. When looking for a spouse, a man should avoid an oppressor. If a man notices that a woman is attempting to manipulate him, he should break off contact with her right away. Nobody likes being in charge, so occasionally it takes a drastic measure to get the point across. The fourth one is rudeness. A fundamental rule of behavior should be excellent manners. A man of high worth should understand how to appreciate and treat others. They are aware that rewards and punishments both have their benefits when applied appropriately, so he should steer clear of both when it comes to his relationships. He doesn't try to modify someone's personality or beg for a chance because these actions would come across as desperate and unappealing. A man of substance knows how to behave politely and won't tolerate unpleasant behavior from others. Envy and jealousy are number 5. It is unbearable to be around women who are envious or jealous because they will act like the traditional green-eyed monster and try to control what and who their boyfriend does. No man should be falsely accused of anything when he isn't present, nor should they want anyone to doubt their commitment. Because insecurity is a symptom of jealousy, the jealous woman doesn't trust her partner and perceives everyone as a potential threat. If you notice that a lady has jealousy issues, you should keep your distance from her because a high-value guy should prefer a woman who is just as comfortable and confident. Nobody likes to have the impression that someone is constantly worried about what they might do and is keeping an eye on them. The sixth person is the expert. A man should value partnerships where everyone is treated equally and should never desire to be with someone who attempts to assert their dominance. Anyone who believes in equality will be greatly put off by a woman who constantly tries to present herself as smarter than everyone else in the room. These ladies are never happy with the people they are around because they are always demanding special treatment. Even when all efforts have been made to appease them, a guy should know how to handle these kinds of women by avoiding them altogether at all costs. A woman who believes she is superior to everyone else should not be tolerated by a guy. Keep in mind that no relationship will succeed if neither person is prepared and willing to invest the time and effort necessary to uphold a strong connection. A man should never feel at ease around gold-digging or possessive women, in large part because these women are only interested in controlling males. A possessive lady also has no interest in developing a relationship with anyone. Because she's afraid of losing him to another woman, she simply wants to be in charge of every part of their man's life. Because a guy of great worth should treasure independence, you should stay away from women who are jealous of your freedom. 7th, disrespectful. Sometimes it can be tough to tell how someone is really feeling toward you because not all disrespect is visible. Therefore, the greatest strategy for starting a new relationship is to be vigilant. Women are infamous for saying one thing and doing another, so pay more attention to her behavior than her words. Since it's rather evident when someone doesn't respect you, any disrespectful behavior should raise a red flag right away. You shouldn't expect everyone to love or even like you, but you should always expect to be treated with some degree of common civility. Recognize that respect is earned, not given. Having a negative outlook is number 8. Nobody disputes that the difference between positive and negative individuals is that positive people get over problems while negative ones moan about them. However, maintaining a positive attitude all the time can be challenging. Men should steer clear of women who are always whining about anything since it will ruin their time with her. Not to add the fact that you shouldn't be around anybody who is constantly negative and drags everyone down with them. A lady is unhappy with herself when she spends all of her time moaning or fussing about trivial things. When you learn a person's genuine motivations, you should always steer clear of them since a guy should be able to tell when someone is miserable inside. You should take emotional manipulation into account if your partner never compliments himself or others while you are in a relationship. Number 9, uneasy. Being disrespectful and lying go hand in hand with insecurity. As a result, if these warning signs are disregarded during dating, insecurity will quickly follow closely after them. Everybody struggles with insecurities, but insecure women put both themselves and others in danger. Insecure women can't take responsibility for their behavior or criticism, which is why they snap at those close to them. Insecure women frequently use bullying to make up for their feelings of inferiority. Stay away from insecure women since this is something that a man should under no circumstances put up with. 10. Being selfish. Real men of great value are not materialistic and only place value in things that cannot be replaced by money. They often steer clear of women who only see dollar signs because they understand that money doesn't grow on trees and can ruin a perfectly fine relationship. A man of high worth knows what he values in life and will constantly steer clear of women who don't share those values, so you should stop the relationship as soon as possible if you find yourself with a lady who solely cares about your pocketbook. Men should be on the lookout for any indicators of selfishness in women since they could develop into much bigger difficulties later on in the relationship. Selfish women can never be trusted because they constantly put themselves first, regardless of how tiny the issue may be.